The first man to run a marathon in under 2 hours, Bekele. The greatest comeback you will ever see.
And new world record for Joshua Cheptegei.
Sorry, Let's Run. Your worst nightmare came true.
Welcome back to the Running Report, where we give you running news produced for and by the culture. I'm your host, Joshua Potts, and I know it's been a cool minute since we've been on YouTube, but we're back and better than ever. This past year here on the Running Report, or was formerly known as the Rosie Project, we committed a lot of our time to Instagram, building our Instagram and our fan base on for the Running Report, give you running news, then having our podcast, Two Black Runners, that we started this year in quarantine in these hard times, and we really saw a rise in that. But I want to get back to the foundation of where Running Report was really founded and the roots of it. It started in my dorm apartment in CSUN, where I was just giving running news, and I want to get back to that. I want to give you guys that hyped running news every single month with the biggest running news here on the Running Report. But I think I'm gonna go to 2 weeks. We're gonna see. I'm shooting for every 2 weeks to give you guys a little bit of a longer show that feels like First Take. And then I'm gonna have uncut parts of the interviews that we have on this show on Running Report 2. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to that as well. But with that being said, bro, let's just get right into this, because the year of 2020, we saw summer track, at least its version, and it really didn't disappoint. We saw multiple world leads, multiple world best, PRs, world records, and then we have the biggest race of the century coming up next month. Then plus we saw the rise of YouTube running this month, and we're going to talk to one of the key members of that rise just a little bit later on this show. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a list of my top 5, my first ever Potts top 5, so you don't want to miss that. And then we have our Bell Lap question, which is a question that comes straight from y'all, so you want to stick to the end to see if your question made the cut. But let's get into it, bruh. We got 4 laps, 4 topics, 4 questions to go. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm back and ready to do this. We're going to kick off the show with Marathon Madness, because on October 4th, we're having one of the biggest races of the century. We're going to give you a little bit of a London Marathon preview as we have the matchup of Kenenisa Bekele and Eliud Kipchoge. And I had to bring in my main man, bro. I know you guys haven't seen him on the channel yet, but Jeremy Beck, bro, he's the founder of Outkick Running and Outkick Performance. My bad. I know I already messed it up. And he's the assistant coach at Norco High School, that's just around the corner from us. But first off, Brett, Jeremy, how's it feel to be on the show, bro? First time being on the Running Report and everything like that. We've been knowing you for a minute. You about to get married soon. Like, how's it going?
Man, it's been going good. You know, just dealing with the COVID stuff, trying to coach and keep these athletes in shape. But you know, been doing good. Like you said, planning my wedding. We'll be getting married October 3rd. But yeah, just staying busy, man. But yeah, I'm excited to be on the show. Yeah, I've known you guys since I was in 2nd grade. You were probably in
like that
kindergarten. Yeah. So I've known you guys for a long time. But yeah, excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
And you know, it's the coming back here on the Runner Report. I have to bring in the brother from the same mother, Super Hot Potts. Aaron, bruh, we gotta get you on this conversation. How's everything going?
Bruh, I'm just hyped because the homie Jeremy joining us. I've been talking track with Jeremy ever since I've known him. Like we've been saying, one of the best track and field minds out there. And if y'all really mess with the Running Report, I know y'all be in the comments and y'all be seeing what Jeremy has to say. So I think we're gonna have a little.
He's been in there.
Yeah, I'm just super excited that we're kicking off the little Running Report show again, and we're starting off with Marathon Madness. So it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, so the big question, we already know the details from pretty much everyone watching. You know the details. You know what's going down. The 2 best marathoners of all time. But I want to ask you, who is under the most pressure in this marathon? And Jeremy, let's start with you, bro.
To start off, man, easily Eliud Kipchoge. Even if you're, a guy like Kenenisa and you're kind of the underdog in this battle, I feel like there's absolutely no pressure. I mean, if he gets second to Eliud Kipchoge on race day, everybody's going to say, well, yeah, we expected that. He doesn't really lose nothing. I don't feel it takes away from Kenenisa's legacy. I see him as the greatest distance runner of all time. I think the biggest thing that's going to make that I don't know if people have really thought about, but this whole NN running team that Kipchoge has, his whole camp around their team in Iten, Kenya, and Eldoret. They haven't been training together. I have a buddy, Julian Wanders, who trains with that group, and they separated the group due to the COVID-19, and so Elliot, I feel, is in a crazy spot, in a spot that he's not used to, especially for Kenyan runners. They're used to these big, massive training groups and constantly being surrounded by people. But Kenenisa is not. He's always been a solo trainer. He's never had a training group more than 4 or 3 people. I lived in Ethiopia, for those who know, for like 6 months after high school, and I trained with Kenenisa and all those guys, and I really never seen Kenenisa have a group more than 3 people. So it's really not going to be anything different for him leading up to this London Marathon.
And what do you think about that, Aaron? We have we know, like you said, Kipchoge is elite, bro. It's top of his career. But who has the most pressure, bro? Who has the most pressure?
I mean, I'd have to agree with Jeremy. It's definitely Eliud Kipchoge, because when we think about Eliud Kipchoge, everybody is saying, they're already like calling like this man the GOAT. He's the star. He's making like the most money. Like, I know so many people that don't know anything about running, but they know about Kipchoge because he already has broken that 2-hour barrier. But right. I feel like Kipchoge, he's going out there to he is going out there to like prove that he is the best ever and everything. Whereas Jeremy already said, like, he already sees Bekele as the GOAT. And when you think about it, like Bekele, second all time in the 5K, his record just went down. Number 1 all time in the 10K. Number 2 all time in the marathon. So like, if he loses this race, I mean, that's still like some GOAT status stuff. I'd even talk about his medals. So this is not a race for him to determine if he's the GOAT. This is a race for him to get another world record. And I think that's what he's going after. Kipchoge, yes, he's going after the record as well, but he also is like, I have to beat Bekele to like show everyone I'm really the GOAT. Because that's, for him, beating Bekele, that is like another thing he could check off. Like, I beat Bekele in the biggest race ever. Yes, Bekele, that's a check mark for him, but like, him losing to him he's not losing anything by losing this race. He already has all the stats, all the statistics. Without the marathon record, he is still debatable, like that he is the GOAT. And people still will believe he's the GOAT forever because of what he's done.
That's what I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, because I feel like even if he does lose this race, I don't think people will ever be saying Bekele is the GOAT anymore. I feel like Bekele may have the pressure on him the most, because after this year, his place in the history books as being the best in each event may be totally erased. We already seen, like you mentioned, Cheptegei broke his 5K world record. Cheptegei may break his 10K world record like a week after that. And then if Kipchoge breaks, I'm pretty sure the world record is going to go down in this race as well. And Kipchoge beats him. It seems like Bekele has the pressure to remain that GOAT status. How do you feel about that, Jeremy? Like, could that be just a lot of pressure on him? And then let's not even talk about the litany of times in the past couple of years when Bekele has dropped out of races or he has performed as well. Then he may just be a real one-hit wonder in the marathon. So can that be the case too? Where the pressure
ever may talk about Bekele like that again, bro?
I'm just saying, there's a lot of kids out there that don't know Bekele's name until last year and only see Kipchoge as the GOAT. So if he loses this race, they may never think about him again.
Right. And for that, I'd say, obviously each generation has their distance runner that they've grown up with and looked up to, right? Like, I know Aaron and I, our personal favorite has to be Bernard Lagat. But, this is Kenenisa Bekele we're talking about. He is not new to pressure. He is not new to, being in rough circumstances, and even some of his biggest races. I mean, he's won by dropping very fast last laps. I know we're talking about a marathon here, but if Kenenisa and Kipchoge are just side by side with less than a mile to go, I just can't see Kipchoge
There's
pulling
no
away
way.
from
So
him.
that's who you got. That's who you got. That's what you're telling me. That's who
Kenenisa
you,
Bekele, absolutely,
that's who you're taking.
absolutely,
You heard it here first. Hey,
absolutely.
That's who you got too, Aaron. That's who you got.
I
Put on wax.
100%. It's especially if it comes down to the last mile or so, Bekele is gonna beat him. Like Kipchoge,
Right.
Kipchoge. Another reason why he has more pressure is because like when people see him race, they're expecting him to break 2 hours. He has to go out there to break 2 hours. If you don't break 2 hours, nobody cares. But if Bekele goes out there and doesn't break 2 hours but sets the world record, that's just as a big deal. It's just like, bro, how did this man have the world record? He's at the world record in the 5K, 10K, and the marathon. Like that's GOAT status. Even if his records get broken one day by Chep the guy or something, it's still like how many people have held every single record before? I don't really
Right.
know.
And
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, bro. Definitely going to be interesting. Thank you guys for coming on to this new vamped running report show, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, you're going to have Jeremy back onto the show if you guys liked and everything like that. But thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for your insight. But let me know what you guys down in the comments below. What do you guys think? Who has the most pressure on them and who you think is going to take it? And just let them know that Kipchoge already really won the race. So, like, Bekele, you don't even have to show up anymore, to be honest. let's get on to the next thing.
Oh man, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
3 laps to go. I'm gonna take you guys back to the rise of YouTube running in the month of August. But honestly, it was the whole summer, and that's considered the summer of Boulder, bruh. We got to see a lot of great things, and I'm about to bring in one of the key factors to the summer in Boulder. He's a professional Georgetown alumni, YouTube sensation, Brooks Beast, the athlete special, Spencer Brown. Spencer, welcome to the revamped running report. Like I told you just now, this is ESPN for running. Like, how are you doing, bro? How you doing?
Dude, thank you so much for having me on again, Joshua. I was just saying off cam before, it's so exciting. We have been talking about how we wanted to up the game before coming into this summer, and we kind of both went our separate ways, and now here we are back again in just such a different place in our lives. And like, I'm so excited for what the running report has been able to bring to the table, and like this new ESPN vibe to it is just, it's an energy that hasn't been in the running world before. So I'm just super excited to be here, and yeah, I'm just happy that things have worked out well for us in the last little bit.
Bro, this summer has been real exciting, but especially exciting for you. A lot of big changes, especially like first off, we have to talk about this Brooks signing. This had to be one of the biggest steps in your running career in a while. Just talk about that real quick. Just how did that all go down?
Yeah, so I may have said this to you a long time ago off camera, and you kept it in the wraps, but I've been in contact with Brooks Running for a very decent chunk of time since about March or April. They had reached out to me, and they kind of were like, "We don't know what to do with you. You're kind of a unicorn in this running world because you're a good runner, and then you've got this social media following. So like, you're maybe not like world level yet, where the rest of the Brooks athletes are, but you're better than just like a Strug." I wanted to be a part of it, and I made it super clear that it was running number one for me, and YouTube and social media second, and they respected that. And that's sort of how like our conversation went from that to like, hey, we want to make you a member of our team for the next year and a half. Well, I feel like I'm in a great spot right now where I've just been given an awesome opportunity to train with one of the best teams in the world. Obviously, I respect all those guys. Hopefully they can respect me soon once practice starts and stuff. But yeah, I'm just so excited to have that opportunity to train with some of the best athletes in the country and in the world, and document it for everyone to see, and just show that, you know, that life of a runner trying to achieve the dream.
I just heard that Spencer ain't here to be a water boy, y'all. He ain't here to be a water boy. He here to be a real thing. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, he gonna do some big things. Don't be surprised at all. But I also wanted to ask you a little bit more about Brooks Beast before we get into some other stuff. Like, how has the Danny Mackey training been treating you so far? Has your goals changed a little bit going into 2021? Like, what do you want to do next here on the track?
I'm so excited about being coached by Danny Mackey. I think he's like a perfect fit for my type of running. I do middle distance stuff, so 800 mile and maybe 3K. And Danny Mackey just knows all those sciencey, mechanical things that I just haven't been introduced to that much yet. I like the stuff he's given me so far via like text and calling, but I've only met him one time in person. He's a great guy, so I'm super amped for that aspect of being on the beast.
Yeah, and we're all excited to really see that happen, especially how you're going to document it on YouTube. I know we got a whole bunch of YouTube fanboys and fangirls right now, the athlete special in the comments. And like, that's not a diss. Like, it's a real talk. We all love YouTube running and what's being brought to the table, especially this summer. Like, can you speak about just like the summer of Boulder?
Yeah, so I went out to Boulder with, a couple of my real good friends from home and then a couple other guys who, planned on running with me out there. And immediately we got out and we were like, holy crap, everyone out here is also a runner. And there was a lot of guys who do social media stuff. There's Ben Crawford, there's Joe Hale with the photos, there's Tin Man, Cooper Tier, Everett Silva, all those guys who are all over the internet. It was wild. It was a lot of fun. I tried to throw my name in the ring a little bit, calling myself the King of Boulder just to stir up the pot a little bit. I thought it was kind of a funny joke because Boulder is probably, a top 2 training city in the country. And for me to just the third week claim that I'm the king of the city kind of got some people heated, but it was all in good fun. At the end of the day, every person I met, as an individual was a great person. Including all the Tin Man guys, because those were the guys I'd love to try to razz the most, but couldn't get them to bite on anything. They're all just great people, and I met so many good friends out there.
Yeah, it was definitely a joy just watching, just seeing like on every single different channel and like seeing people like cross channels and everything like that. But one thing I want to point out before we get you out of here, like you said, like you moved out with like a whole squad, bro. You kind of have like this task running entourage that comes along with you now with Ari and Will. How has that been to be able to have like some of your best friends like also chasing this dream with you?
It's absolutely the most fun part about this whole experience since coming out west this summer and now to Seattle has been being with all my best friends. It opens my eyes up to really making this a fun thing that we can keep doing for a while, and hopefully we're entertaining everyone and at the same time kind of showing you the real aspects of what it's like to be a runner.
And have you had some time to like really just like reflect, because we know you're still in your early 20s? Have you sat back at all and just looked and just smelled the roses a little bit?
I mean, I have, and it's mostly my friends will be like, dude, you don't even realize how much of the life you're living. You're literally on the Brooks Beast and like you're doing YouTube. It's not like this is, you are doing exactly what you want to be doing. And at times I take it for granted. And I really have been super reflective, especially on my long car ride out to Seattle, about how lucky I am just to be in the shoes I am, and I'm super thankful. And at the end of the day, it's the viewers who just have helped me achieve what I want to, and continue to believe in me. So that's just a shout out to anyone listening right now.
We're still here rooting for you, and we really wish you all the best going forward, bro. And we're excited to see what you do, bro. So just thank you again for coming here on the Runner Report, and you're always welcome back, my guy.
Thank you so much for having me on, Josh. It's always a pleasure. I love this channel, Running Report for Life. I'm getting my t-shirt soon. I'm telling you that right now.
Hey, yeah, that's our fault, bro. That's our fault. I'm sorry about that. We'll get that one day. We'll get that to you for sure. But thanks for coming on, bro. Always a pleasure. With 2 laps to go, I have to mention the biggest performances in this past month of August, bruh. First, we had Karsten Warholm in the Diamond League Stockholm, where he ran a 46.87 to run the number 2 fastest 400-meter hurdle mark of all time, and he hit the 10th hurdle in the process. And then also in that same month of August, we had Joshua Cheptegei break Kenenisa Bekele's 5,000-meter world record, which was a world record that people just thought was impossible, was going to stand for decades, and he really went out there and made it seem like it was a piece of cake. It was really nothing. And with all this, bro, I wasn't sure which I should really focus on for with 2 laps to go. So I'm going to give you my top 5 most dominant athletes of 2020 so far. So after I give you this list, make sure to comment down below if you agree, if you don't agree, and just what you think of the list overall. Who is the most dominant athlete of 2020 so far? Because the year's standing over, but there has been incredible athletes, incredible performances, incredible seasons that have already come to an end in 2020.
2020 so far. And that's when we're kicking off with number 5. Her season has already ended, but it's Shanae Miller-Weibo, the 400 meter and 200 meter specialist. At one point this summer, she held the world lead in the 100, 200, and 400, combining those PRs as one of the best ever in those 3 events once you add them all those up. Like, she was really dominant at this time. Nobody was really touching her, and I would really say, like, the run 10.98 as a 400 meter runner is very, very impressive, and just shows how much speed she has gained this year during quarantine. It's going to be interesting what she does once she comes out of quarantine and is able to really train and go out it next year at Tokyo 2021. Then the number 4 dominant athlete of 2020 so far has to go to Ryan Crouser. His dominance didn't just start this summer though. Earlier in 2020 in the indoor season, he threw the number 2 mark of all time. Then he came out this summer just ready to throw something far. Then in his second outdoor performance of the summer, he comes out and throws the number 3 mark of all time. He's tied with that 3rd mark with Joe Kovacs, Alessandro Andre, who are great throwers, but honestly over these past couple months he's shown that he may even be better than them and is really competing at going the world record very soon. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, but the Ryan Crouser, it may happen the next throw, the next time he shows up in the rink. Then our 3rd most dominant person of so far in 2020 has to go to Mono Duplantis, bruh. He has been the rise, and I really feel like the face of the field in 2020, and honestly one of the youngest stars that are bringing more attention to track every single time he competes. First off, he broke the indoor world record in the pole vault, and then he comes out in the outdoor season and he's just dominating. He doesn't lose at all, and he's going higher and higher up. He finally starting to get over 6 meters, and he's just been really dominant from the start. Like, honestly, you guys all know Mono Duplantis, he's still in the news, and he's winning every single time he's in the news, and he's always competing to get the world record. Those are still in his sights. I don't know if he's going to break it this year, but honestly, don't tell Mondo that, because he may just go out there and break it and just prove everybody wrong. And then number 2 for our most dominant of all time, this is where it got tricky. This is where I was thinking, who's going to be number 1? Who's going to be a number 2? Number 2 has to be Karsten Warholm, bro. Karsten Warholm, 16 straight victories since 2019. The man does not lose. And now I know you're saying, like, man, he only really races in Europe. Like, he doesn't be racing U.S. competition all the time. That doesn't matter. He's racing pros. These people get paid to run and jump over hurdles, and he's beating them every single week. He also ran the number 2 all time in the 400 meter hurdles about a couple weeks ago, and he's still gunning after that world record. He's doing this solo dolo, by the way. Solo dolo. No one's really competing with him in these races. And I can't forget about that nasty 45 he dropped in Stockholm too after that number 2 performance in the 400 meter hurdles. That was disgusting. The kid's strong. The number 1 of 2020 so far that has been the most dominant, there's no question about it, it's Joshua Cheptegei. And I know some of you guys may be looking at the stats like Joshua Cheptegei has only competed twice this season, only once on the track and once on the roads. But in both times that he did that, this is why he's most dominant. This is why he's most dominant. He broke world records both times he did that. First, he broke the road 5K world record in Monaco back in February. Then he comes out to Monaco in August and breaks the 5K world record. The guy cannot be stopped when it comes to the 5K, but maybe his true event, the 10K, where he won the world championships last year, the 10K on the track, he's going to run another 10K coming up next month in October in Valencia and trying to break Bekele's 10K world record. Honestly, Joshua Cheptegei is definitely the most dominant so far in 2020, and right now he's quarantine MVP. To be honest, this man has been dominant. There's no one touching him at all, and what he has done to come out, and the only time he comes out is breaking world records, is very impressive. And it's going to be exciting to see if he's going to be able to break Bekele's 10K world record too, because this man is on a whole another level. Let me know, do you guys agree with my list? And my list just whack? But honestly, I know it's perfect because it's the POTS list. Like, come on, bruh. That's a good list. have one lap to go. This is our bell lap question, and this is a question that comes straight from you guys. So you want to make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at running_report. All the social media links will be down below, so make sure you guys click that link, give us a follow, and then just watch out for our stories, and your question may be featured in our next running report that comes out in 2 weeks or a month. But I'm saying 2 weeks. In 2 weeks it will be out. But this month's question comes from The New, and he's asking, what is the greatest running movie of all time? And I feel like this is a great question, especially to ask right now. As we know, we're kind of in this like limbo, like quarantine time right now, where we don't really know what's really like going on, and we're still at home doing school for some people, so we got a lot of times on our hands. And the greatest running movie all time has to be, without a doubt, no question, Without Limits. Now, if anyone says the movie please click away from this video right now, because I'm telling you right now, Without Limits, the best Steve Prefontaine movie of all time. There's no question. Never redo it. And it's the best running movie of all time. We really get to see like some actual racing on the track that is just like real. Like, it doesn't look fake. It doesn't look fabricated. Like, look at Unbroken. Unbroken, not the best racing scenes, but Without Limits, that thing is straight intense. When he came out with that bloody toe, like, come on, bro. And then he told Bill Bowerman that running from the back and winning the last lap is straight chicken. What?
Look, Bill, running any other way is just plain chicken.
Chicken?
Chicken.
Come on, watch the scene if you know what I know. And we even get to see the insides of like Bill Bowerman creating Nike with the waffle shoes. And then so much just to see like the rise of Adidas and how big it was at that time. Then at the Olympics, how they had the protests, now everything went down. And that's why Without Limits is the greatest running movie of all time. But I have to mention these other movies like McFarlane. Like, come on, bro. Is that Danny Diaz? Like, bruh.
That's not Danny Diaz!
That's a banger. That's a banger. Also, The Sprinter, y'all need to check that out. It's on Netflix right now. It's a new one. That's a great movie as well. Chariots of Fire, it's always just going to be a classic. And then Fat Albert and those 4x1 scenes at the end of the movie, and when he's racing on Marion, like, come on, bro. Fat Albert, if you haven't seen that with Kenan Thompson as Fat Albert, you're really missing out, bro. One of the greatest running movies, running spectacles I have ever seen. Big facts, no cap. Come on, bro. No, come on, bro. But that's all I got for you guys this week on the Running Report, bro. This is our news type show. We're trying to make it extend it a little bit longer, give you guys more insight, give you guys a little bit more depth. And honestly, bro, I don't know if this was good or this was trash. Like, really let me know. I bet it was trash, but that's okay. This is the first time doing it this new direction, this new way, and I'm really I'm excited to see, because I know it's gonna get better and better with each episode. I'm trying to come back every single 2 weeks, but as you can see, everything's ain't promised here on YouTube. But every 2 weeks is the goal. So see us back here soon, because here on the Running Report, we give running news produced for and by the culture. And we do that every single 2 weeks here on the Running Report, here on YouTube. And we got so much more stuff coming on YouTube very, very soon. And subscribe to Two Black Runners Podcast. We're popping off on Apple and Spotify. I'm low-key going on for a long time. It's probably a long video. I'm sorry if it is and it was garbage. But believe me, in like 3 months, this won't be cringe anymore. I think that was a good way to end it, I think. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. I'm Joshua Potts, and that's running. I don't know what I would say. That was really awkward. Raymond, don't include this. Raymond's helping me. Raymond Ornelas. Raymond, you can don't include this. If you include this, make it like really funny. But if it's not funny, cut this out, please.